So it's safe to say the KSI, Mr. Beast, Logan Paul and Lunchley situation is far from over for whatever reason. What should have been one little controversy has honestly tarnished KSI's reputation fully and has not helped with Mr. Beast and Logan Paul's at all. I'm not going to go over the full situation at hand because I've already made 2 videos covering the situation and there's no point me covering it extensively in this one as well. But to get people caught up to speed, if you're brand new to the situation, KSI, Logan Paul, Mr. Beast created a brand called Lunchley. Lunchley was called out by a lot of other YouTubers like DanTDM, and KSI and Logan Paul didn't react too well to this. And since the one comment DanTDM made about Lunchley, KSI has continuously gone on about it on podcasts, on Twitter, on his own channel, and even his music. And for whatever reason, KSI keeps responding to DanTDM and the Lunchley drama, and there is no good reason for this. This isn't a case of all publicity is good publicity, because everybody is hating on him, his brand, and it is completely tarnishing his reputation. This is not beneficial to him or his Lunchley brand. It's safe to say from what KSI has been doing is tarnish his reputation and completely sour the thoughts around the product of Lunchley. Since my last video covering this situation, KSI has not slowed down talking about DanTDM or the hate around Lunchley. He's continuously feeding into it. A great example of this is KSI recently released a brand new song called The Thick of It, and I wouldn't listen to it unless you want your ears to bleed, but he released a brand new song, and again, he's using DanTDM to promote it, and he's referencing DanTDM in the music video and stuff like that. KSI at the moment as well is constantly talking about the quote-unquote haters and giving into it, which is something as a content creator you're not meant to do. If there is valid criticism, of course respond to it, but if you're not going to have a good response to anything, just don't say anything. You feed into it and it just makes you look worse overall, and it's something that I thought personally KSI would understand, but clearly he hasn't. Because again, he's trying to follow this idea that all publicity is good publicity, but we all know that, especially on the internet, that is just not true. Like, yes, because of the Lunchley situation and the stuff with DanTDM, KSI is one of the most spoken about content creators right now, but how will that affect his reputation in the next year or so? How will people reflect? How many people of his fans will stop being fans of him because of this situation? In the long run, this just isn't good. In the short term, he's been spoken about, but what will happen in the long run? But KSI is a very arrogant and egotistical person who doesn't understand things like that. As long as he's been spoken about, he doesn't care, and he's very similar to Logan Paul in that aspect. The whole issue with this whole KSI and DanTDM stuff is he haven't stopped speaking about it. He's been quote tweeting other content creators when they launch a brand new product, saying, where's DanTDM at? Why is DanTDM not saying anything about this? And he did it again today. KSI and McDonald's have launched a official collaboration, and you know, he was quote tweeting again, yet again, about DanTDM. It's just pathetic. DanTDM made one comment and one criticism against Lunchley, which is in his favor to do so. It wasn't overly negative, it just was his opinion on YouTubers, brands, and how they're presenting themselves, and especially what Lunchley represents. But KSI has taken this as a complete personal attack. But of course, you know, KSI is denying that he's personally attacked by this, that he genuinely cares. I mean, even in his sidecast, he was trying to claim that, you know, he doesn't actually care, and that, you know, this is just great for the brand and stuff. But it's not great for the brand, and you clearly do care. You wouldn't be tweeting about it this much, I'm just saying, you wouldn't. You just wouldn't happen. I mean, if he spent as much time as he has tweeting about DanTDM focusing on his product, he might actually make a good product. Because, I mean, what the reports currently about Lunchley, that they're finding mold on the product. Of course, this is all allegedly and probably mold, because I don't want to be sued into oblivion by KSI and Logan Paul, and we all know they're very, very trigger happy when it comes to that. You know, if you want to ask more about Logan Paul's happy trigger finger with lawsuits and stuff, just go and ask CoffeeZilla. But several tweets were made about this one person who came out saying that they'd found mold on the cheese of one of the Lunchley. They attached an image and, you know, there's clearly mold growing on it. Of course, we don't know the circumstances, if, you know, it was just a bad batch, if, you know, the seal was broken in production, if they had done it themselves. You know, we don't know those things, but a lot of KSI fans are defending this, saying, you know, it's only $4, what do you expect? And you know, I expect my food not to have mold on it regardless of how much money I paid for it. If I spend £1.50 on a Pepsi, I don't expect that Pepsi to have bits floating in it just because it was £1.50. I'm still spending a lot of money on a product, and Lunchley being $4 and, you know, this one having mold on it is unacceptable. This is probably one in a million type of thing, but where is KSI's response to this? Something that he should probably definitely respond to if there's a report that his product has mold on it, especially when it's a food product, but instead he's talking about DanTDM constantly, where it's his response, Logan Paul's response, and Mr. Beast's response to this, something that actually matters. They just don't respond to it because it looks bad for their brand, or what they think looks bad for their brand. I mean, I would much rather a response over this than DanTDM. I personally think them constantly responding about DanTDM makes their brand look worse if they responded to this, for example. If they just addressed this whole mold thing, it would look 100% better for their brand, aside from them ignoring it. Lunchly has a terrible reputation already due to the DanTDM stuff, how both KSI and Logan Paul responded, and everything just around it. They don't need something like this on their backs. I kind of want to just talk about Lunchly in general as well. I mean, Logan Paul uploaded an Impulsive episode with him, Mr. Beast, and KSI, talking about Lunchly and a bunch of other stuff, but you know, the beginning bit is focused on Lunchly. You know, they've got their table set up full of prime feastables on Lunchly. Like, this table is overstuffed with their products. You know, it's not even like it's just on the table, it's spread around the room, it's on the windowsill, it's everywhere, and it's just funny, right? Because it reminds me as well that, you know, Logan Paul recently had a kid. Congratulations, great thing, probably one of the best things that he's going to do in his life, arguably, definitely, you know, bring something into the world, rather than, you know, film something that's, you know, been taken out of the world. But Logan Paul is in the hospital room with his wife and his kid, and he's got Lunchly and Prime on the windowsill, and he starts doing a commercial for it. He starts advertising Lunchly and Prime while his wife and brand new baby is just there in the hospital bed.
And of course, we have our snacks and our energy drink, none other than the greatest meals in the world. Lunchly, of course, we have the turkey, cheese, and cracker stack. Also the Fiesta Nachos, my personal favorite.
Love.
Like, how do you reckon that conversation went with him and his partner? You know, like, yeah, I know you've just given birth, but actually just wait there, shush, and let me promote my brand new product, Lunchly and Prime. Surely your priorities in that situation is, okay, right, I can stop promoting my brand for a couple of days, right? It doesn't have to be on the windowsill in the hospital room with my brand new baby. I don't have to promote it, right? I just don't. How do you get that, you know, okay, right, I've just had a brand new baby, what are we gonna do? Let's promote Lunchly. I'd also love to hear the conversation when this kid's like 15, you know, they're questioning what was like the day of my birth like, what was going on, what were you doing on that day, how did you feel? They've got to explain to this kid that, you know, we're actually advertising Lunchly and Prime straight after you were born, basically. It's just so incredibly dystopian and really reflects what Logan Paul is truly like, because even if you're only promoting that for, what, 10-15 seconds, the fact that's even come into your mind straight after you've had a baby is just something else, man. Like, come on, right? Surely you've got better things to be doing than that. But, you know, we do know that Logan Paul, Mr. Beast, and KSI are all out of touch people. I mean, just look at the most recent Impulsive episode. It was filmed on the day that Lunchly, you know, got promoted and was released. And, you know, they're talking about the criticism they faced on that exact same day, and they're bringing up the fact that people didn't really know about the product. And I can tell you firsthand, people were not saying that, especially the overwhelming majority just had criticisms about the product in general, not the fact that they didn't know what it was. And that's just them trying to downplay a lot of the hate against Lunchly. I really didn't think I would be able to get 3 videos out of this situation, alright? It's a controversy that, you know, maybe should have lasted a day, not several weeks. And I'm going to say that it's probably not going to end here either. How KSI is continuously responding, how Lunchly is being promoted, is still coming into question. And I mean, I don't think KSI is going to slow down anytime soon from the looks of it. Whilst I've said my fair share of stuff about KSI over the years, and now about his product Lunchly, my perception of him wasn't entirely negative. I hadn't always agreed with stuff he's done, and have definitely criticised him in the past, but my perception of him was, you know, mostly positive. Until now. How he's been responding to this has really tainted my perception and tainted a lot of people's perceptions of KSI. And you know what, that's extremely sad, because a content creator like KSI should realise what he's doing is negatively impacting him, his brand, and everybody around him.